welcome back to the Think About It channel. Today we're doing an episode of Demo where we interview South Jersey and Philly area musicians. Today we are lucky enough to have Christian Glomb. Hey Christian.
Hey, what's up, man?
Christian is currently on tour with Ballyhoo. So we might have some connectivity issues, we might not. Hopefully we don't. But he's a busy man, so we're gonna get right to it. But if you don't know Christian, he's the lead singer and guitarist of the reggae rock band Ill Rendition. They are a trio out of Atlantic City. They've been a staple in the Atlantic City music scene for a long time. They share the national stage with artists like Pepper, Bumpin Uglies, Kash'd Out, John Mayer, Fishbone, Mike Pinto, and Less Than Jake, to name a few. Also good friends with our friends Brandon Smith and Nancy Malcoon, who we both had on the show as well. It looks nice wherever you are, man. It looks very nice wherever you are.
Where am I? I'm in somewhere in Kansas, I think. Not really sure. We have a driver who drives through the night. I know we were in Sioux Falls, South Dakota when I went to sleep, and I think I'm in Kansas now.
That's
maybe.
Yeah. There's no place like home, right?
Yeah. I'm sitting at the back of the trailer, like right now, just sitting on a box.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule on tour to sit on the box and answer some questions for us.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure.
To kick us off, who are some of your biggest musical influences?
Well, obviously, Ballyhoo. They were my favorite band before I got hired, so that was, a dream come true. But if I want to go way back, my original music influence was actually the Beatles. Like John Lennon was my original idol. And then as it moved on, he was like, the Beatles are the reason I picked up the guitar and got into music. And then I guess like a lot of my influences that are still shaping me and heard a lot today would be like Nirvana and Green Day and Sublime and all things 90s. I think I'm definitely still stuck in the 90s as far as that. But yeah, I think that's where I draw most of my inspiration from.
It's not a bad time to be stuck in.
Yeah.
Especially with the way things are right now, it's not a bad time to be stuck in.
We peaked as a society in the 90s, man. We set that bar high, and we just haven't been able to get back to
it. So when did you decide to take music seriously?
So I've taken it seriously my whole life. It's been, it's like the stupid thing. It's like, music's not what I do, it's who I am. You know what I mean? Like cliche answer, but like it's kind of that thing. But as far as like career-wise, I quit my construction job in 2018, and I've been doing music full time. Whether it's been performing, running my recording studio, Bulldog Studio, working for Ballyhoo now. Like any way I can, get employed doing music things is what I try to do now. So yeah, it's definitely like I said, been serious my whole life, but it's been a full-time business, I guess, about 7 years now.
You started Ill Rendition back in 2009.
Yes.
Which doesn't feel like a long time ago, but low-key was.
Yeah. Kind of. I feel like we like somehow skipped like a decade. Like I feel like 2009 was like. I feel like it's like 2015 and 2009 was like that close ago. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're 10 years. Like somehow I just lost the last 10 years. Like damn. I
feel that too. How has Ill Rendition grown, evolved, changed from 2009 to when we're talking about this in 2025?
So, when we first started out, we were more just like a local band. We really didn't play outside of Jersey. Kind of just kept it in the backyard kind of thing. Like played a lot of Atlantic City, like Cape May a little bit, local stuff. And then as it grew, we branched out a lot more. We've been touring. A few years ago we bought a van and did a bunch of tours like on the East Coast, like up and down to Florida, a little bit of we went west a bit, so just trying to get out there more in that way. I think that the change in social media like helps the growth and the reach too, like as far as it's like a double-edged sword with like the streaming thing. I know people like like Spotify doesn't pay their artists, which is the whole rabbit hole we could go down. But in the other side of things is it's such a huge platform with such a huge audience. It helps grow tremendously. And I think seeing things like that, like when we'd go out to tour and we'd be in like a town we never heard of, and have people show up for us. You know what I mean? Just like if it wasn't for that kind of thing, like stuff like that couldn't happen. So it's a double-edged sword. You got to take the good with the bad. But I definitely think just getting out of our little area and becoming, known way more than just in Jersey has been like the main growth for us, which has been really cool.
For sure. I hate to bring up COVID because no one likes to bring up COVID, but COVID forced you and the band to take things differently, as it
Yeah.
forced a lot of people to take things differently. So, you went from doing stuff with the full band to either just doing acoustic sets with the band or you just doing acoustic stuff on your own. When you guys perform, now that, you're still doing a lot of those things because you found success with it, do you approach shows differently if it's you with the full band versus the full band acoustic versus just you acoustic? Or do you go out with the same sort of set list, mantra, mindset every time?
It's little of both of that. We go out trying, like, whether it's acoustic or a full band, trying to have fun and connect with the audience. But when it's acoustic, it's like a little more intimate. You know what I mean? It's kind of like brought down. I feel like we get a little more. It seems like more of an environment to like kind of chit chat and talk to the crowd a little bit versus just like go go go, like bringing the energy the whole time. When the full band is blasting. So like a little of both. But it's definitely a different vibe for each of them as far as like I think the connection wise.
For
I think
sure,
that's like
yeah.
the main difference. I also think I'm sitting here keep pushing my earbuds in. I just think I realized that I think you're coming out of the phone speaker because I think they died. So yeah, all right, now we're on phone audio. That's fine. All right,
It's
there
all
we go.
good. It's
Yeah.
all good. So you guys do predominantly original music, but you're not afraid to do a cover from time to time and post it on social media. One of my favorite things about Ill Rendition and Christian Glomb covers is you're not afraid to play outside of your genre. You're not afraid to tackle songs outside of the reggae rock genre, and you put a cool spin on them and make them your own. Do you have a favorite cover that you've done that's not in the Ill Rendition sort of genre?
Ooh. Yeah, I was say like my first thought I went to thinking of the Eat the Meat cover that we dropped, but I guess that's kind of in our genre. I guess I would have to say one that we had a lot of fun with was just really weird was we did an Ed Sheeran cover, Shape of You, that we did like full production and put out on Spotify. We just had a lot of fun with that one, like changing it up and kind of making it as if we go in, I don't know, like recently and be basically original, but that was one where we kind of just like referenced out the window and we're like, all right, let's just kind of get our own thing. And I mean, like it's sometimes got like a little bit of like the keyboard thing going, but then like there's the reggae guitars and some big
Right.
stuff, drum hits and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun doing it, but it was the other reason that one's so special to me was because it was one that we did with our bass player Connor, who passed away. But I just remember him and I just sitting there going over it, and him like really having fun trying to come up with like his bass line and everything. And we spent some time on that. So I think like the whole experience of making our own arrangement of that one, I think was probably like the most fun as far as doing one that you wouldn't expect from us.
For sure, yeah. And speaking of making your own arrangement of things, Ill Rendition is not your only hustle.
No,
You mentioned earlier that you have your own Bulldog recording studio,
studio. Yep.
Bulldog Studio. And I've seen a lot of cool things come from that. You mentioned earlier you're currently on tour with Ballyhoo.
Yes.
And I think you mentioned a minute ago that you're sort of like the tech person there.
Yeah. I'm the guitar and backline tech, so I'm responsible for all their gear, getting it all set up, broken down, making sure everything's maintained, working right. If anything stops working during the show, I make sure I fix it for them and keep the show moving.
How has the experience of recording and mixing and mastering for other people and now working as a tech for Ballyhoo influenced your own stuff in Ill Rendition? Has any of that sort of overlapped and uh, sort of come to light?
Yeah, I always come back. I always come home from ballyhoo tours like inspired, like every night, just like seeing them do the thing. It's just like yeah, like I need to write, and we got to get some things booked, and working with professional, audio people, and kind of like picking their brains. Kind of going over and seeing what they're doing for their mix buses and things like that. So it's just being around professionals and learning things from them, like kind of things that like I didn't know. I think it really helped as far as the overlap for sure.
Hmm. I think, if I remember correctly, you've sort of been in a hunt for a bass player, and I think you've recently found one. Is that correct?
We did. Our buddy Bob Maschio, who also plays in Dog Beach, has his own band, has joined, and it's been going really well. We've been practicing together, and we actually, like, literally right before jumped on here with you, announced our first show back will be May 31st, the Tuckerton Porch Fest. So that'll be our first show. We can catch the new lineup with Bob.
Y'all heard it here second.
Yeah.
So what is the plan moving forward with Ill Rendition then? Now that you sort of have a core group of guys that seem to be pretty consistent that you like, what is your plan?
We're gonna continue to tighten things up, work on our live set, and then after we get a nice set together, we want to start working on new music. Get a bunch of new songs written. Get real tight with them, and then go into the studio and see if we can get a bunch of stuff tracked, and then just start releasing singles and maybe build towards an album or something. But I think the big focus is going to be new original music for sure.
Well, we'd love to have you back on once you get some new original music with the squad going.
Awesome for sure.
Where can people learn more about you and the band? What socials are you guys on?
So I guess the main ones, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Instagram is probably the one I update the most. I seem to, for whatever reason, I enjoy that one. But everything that from there cross posts to Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram are probably like our most up to date as far as like what's going on and posting our shows and when we have new music coming and stuff like that.
Awesome. Are we gonna see an Ill Rendition Ballyhoo tour at some point?
Who knows, man? That would be pretty awesome.
That'd be stellar.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I'd love to. We've opened for them many times over the years, but a tour would be real cool. That'd be next level for us for sure.
That would be awesome. Christian, thank you so much for your time today. I really hope you enjoy your tour. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens when you come back with the boys in Ill Rendition and seeing what you guys can produce.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm excited to get back to work with these guys.
Yes. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your tour.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.